Good to go.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the finals of the very first AWS GameDay World Championship. I am Gunnar.
And my name is Sohan.
And this is the time for the top teams of the AWS GameDay World Championship to prove their team's technical prowess for a chance to be crowned the world champions of AWS GameDay.
So, at this game day, developers of all skill levels can get in on the action to compete for worldwide glory, as well as a chance to claim the top prize, which is an all-expenses paid trip to AWS reInvent Las Vegas later this year. But that's not it, Gunnar. They are also fighting for this amazing trophy right here. Isn't that a beauty?
It is a beauty for sure. And we are super excited to finally be in the finals with everyone here, and super excited to see a lot of people in the stream already joining us. So if you are new to AWS Game Days, though, let's talk a bit about Game Days.
Yeah, so AWS Game Day is an interactive team-based learning experience designed to put your AWS skills to test by solving real-world problems in a gamified, risk-free environment. But most importantly, it's extremely fun. What better way to learn than a fun way to learn about the potential of AWS without the step-by-step instructions provided, in workshop or classroom-style sessions, which admittedly I do quite a few of.
So if you're looking for an open-ended way to hone your skills, then AWS Game Days is the perfect challenge for anyone to do. And it's basically that players are broken up into teams, and then they're given a starting architecture that they will then need to evolve throughout the day in response to different types of events, internal or external. And there is no real one right answer. The path that Game Day participants take, it's up to them, based on the AWS resources at their disposal in these pre-packaged AWS accounts. And this is a completely hands-on opportunity to learn about AWS best practices, new AWS services, and AWS architecture patterns.
So, like we said, today is the final of the World Champion. So any of the teams playing today has the potential to be crowned World Champion. And it's not every day that someone gets to claim that they're a world champion of something. So like I said, there is a lot of glory and pride at stake by taking part in today's final of the Game Day World Championship.
So we have been through a lot of different AWS Game Days in this World Championship. And we started out about a month ago with qualifying events. And we've done 9 qualifying events in total, spread across different time zones. So teams from anywhere in the world have been able to join an event that fits their schedule, basically. And from each qualifying event, we've had 5 top teams that have moved on now into the final round. The final round that's happening today, with a chance to become the AWS Game Day World Champion. So tell me a bit about what happened in the qualifiers, Sohan.
Yeah, I think for me, Gunnar, the most impressive thing about this World Championship is that we had participants from so many different countries take part.
Yeah.
And we have participants from so many countries taking part in the finals today as well. It's amazing to see.
So let's try if people are actually listening on us now, or if it's just us talking into a void. Tell us in the chat where you're from. It's going to be exciting to see all of the countries that are watching in right now.
Yeah, I can see SVNK7 who says, can we get extra points for being in AU midnight? We are time zone off. Yeah, well, I always feel like Australia does get the shorter end of that stick when it comes to like global events. Sorry about that, SVKN7, but hey, here's your chance to be world champion, pride of Australia, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, thanks so much for joining in. We know it's super late and we'll try and keep you entertained.
Yeah, and we can see the chat messages just flowing in. We have Greece, we have Canada, India, Texas and California.
Hey, someone said Amsterdam, woohoo, represent. I live in Amsterdam, best city in the world.
Poland, Sweden, UK, Georgia, US, Manchester, Spain. Well, we have people from all over the world joining us. It's very, very cool. So then from these 9 qualifying events, as we said, people have been moved along, or teams have been moved along into this final. And this is where it's all going to happen now. It's time to then crown the world champion.
We need drum roll, please.
Yeah. I don't think we have a drum roll, but yeah, let's just imagine a drum roll right now. So, welcome to the AWS GameDay World Championship Finals. And the objectives today, they are simple. Learn and have fun. But compete for that World Championship title, of course. We always want you to have fun, but this is a competition as well. So work with your team, try new things to be successful, but also ask for help when you need it. We have people, support staff available to help you as well. And don't stress. It's all about having fun, right?
Yeah. Let's not talk about the huge prize at stake. It's all about having fun. It's all about learning.
Yeah.
No stress, no pressure.
No pressure at all.
All right. So because, well, this is game day, we have to give a disclaimer that, look, AWS GameDay, it's a parody of our tech culture, and any resemblance to actual persons or events is coincidental and unintentional. If you don't adhere to this last paragraph that you see on the screen, we might have to include a laugh track, and you really don't want that, right? So please laugh at our attempt at making jokes. For the teams taking part, and this part I'm actually serious because our legal team has asked us to do it, please do read the terms and conditions about things like eligibility, winning terms. If you win this prize, there is also possible taxation, right? I didn't make up the rules. It exists. So do go through it. It's in your dashboard right now when the game starts. So take a look at it. We will review the winner's eligibility criteria once again after the event, and also make sure that only the people who have registered for the game day on our site will get the prizes, right? So no new additions or any non-registered members who can be considered, but you already know this. I just wanted to tell you again. So, and with that, a message from our CTO of Unicorn Rentals.
Yeah, maybe to get into the character properly.
So, yeah,
so I think it's time.
Yeah.
And I want to give a big shout out to Sohan. If you watched any of the qualifying events, you saw that he was doing it halfway, I think.
Yeah, I had to pull something out, pull something special for the final. So this is it. This is my costume, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, well, a big shout out to Sohan and to Amazon for supplying a unicorn costume quickly. So you said that I'm the CTO, and you are correct. Welcome, everyone. My name is Gunnar. I am the CTO here at Unicorn Rentals. And today, you are all new hires at a subsidiary of Unicorn Rentals, our most famous startup, of course, which some of you have probably worked for before, throughout the qualifiers, for instance. And this will be your new hire orientation. So here's a brief overview of today's introduction. By this point, you've probably met some of your new teammates for this upcoming team building exercise in the Twitch chat. And we'll talk a bit more about who your new cool employer is, and we'll share some information on your new jobs. And we'll provide recommendations for how to grow our C-suite's bank account.
I don't think we were supposed to say that.
All right, so
cut that. Yeah.
Cut it.
Forget we said that.
So finally, we'll give visibility into the infrastructure you'll be working with. But don't worry, it's all in the cloud, and it's, I'd say, 99% optimized. Innovating should be a piece of cake, is what I've been told as the CEO. So now I am proud to introduce our Chief of Staff here at Infinidash, Sohan, who will provide you with more insights into our company history and our recently launched business.
Well, as the Chief of Staff, first of all, welcome to a new hire orientation. Here at Infinidash, this is the latest brainchild of our parent company, Unicorn Rentals. Now, let me just take this opportunity to introduce you to our parent company's famous history, share an update from our CEO, and also report on Infinidash, the brand new wing of our business that you will all be supporting today. So first, for inspiration, a message from our CEO. Now, actually, before that, I need to talk about the company. So what is Infinidash? Well, we are the world's hottest startup, and we wear cool costumes, and we are the offspring of our world-famous Unicorn Rentals. Yeah, the company is the brainchild of Kyle, who's the founder, former CEO, and now chief advisor to Unicorn Rentals. So Kyle drew up the plans for Unicorn Rentals on a post-it note while navigating his yacht's mini golf course back in 2013. It was a very small yacht, so he couldn't have like a full course, you know. And when we presented the legendary animal rental market to the world back in 2015, Unicorn Rentals was already one of the most well-known Silicon Valley startups, despite some envious press calling it a chaotic commencement.
And then in 2017, the CEO, Kyle, he disappeared, apparently with all of our finances, and the website went down. Remember when all of you got it up and running again, or some of you, maybe?
In 2018, the CEO demanded that we modernize from a monolith to microservices. Right? This was a chaotic time period, especially with that external security team called Threat Slayer, who actually, in hindsight, they were quite nice.
Especially the dog.
Especially the dog, yeah.
And how can we forget Rainbow Day in 2019? I think it was the busiest day of the year for Unicorn Rentals all throughout.
Finally, in 2020, we started the Unicorn Polo League. So we ventured into mythical athletics after studies revealed that more active unicorns are happier and more profitable, and all we care is about profit. So today, many highly successful projects later, we are finally breaking ground in a new and highly promising market, sustainable transport.
So with the new Infinidash ride-hailing service, we're breaking into sustainable transport. You might think, what? Why? But cities are getting more and more congested, and this has massive impact on the environment and on Unicorn Rentals as a business. So this year, Infinidash ride-hailing service will make the world a more sustainable one.
And now, a word from our CEO. So Sue Ann, our CEO, was not able to join us today because she's extremely busy with urgent meetings with investors. And you'll see in this next video how busy she is working hard for all of us. She did say that ticking off your new hire onboarding today was top priority. So she sent us a quick word. So here's the video from our extremely busy CEO. So you're super privileged to just watch this.
Hello Unicorn Rentals new hires, it's me Sue Ann, your CEO. Unfortunately I can't be with you today because I'm very busy, as you can see, walking along this beautiful beach. But I thought I'm gonna take 2 minutes to introduce you to our company and maybe to give you a couple of tasks. I can tell you our cities are getting more congested. It takes you longer to get to the office, it takes longer to get our unicorns to the customers, and it takes me longer to get to the golf course. 2 hours to be precise. So this is an issue, clearly, and it needs fixing. And we have come up with an amazing idea, Infinidash, our new ride-hailing service using our unicorns to bring rainbow-fueled rides to our commuters' day. And with that, I will leave you in the capable hands of my colleagues because I have to go. The ocean is calling. Bye.
Wow, such motivational words from our CEO. Thank you very much, Sue. We are so grateful for you being there for us in this exciting time. So Sue did text me afterwards with her wish list, mostly items that need your urgent attention. So keep these points in mind throughout your team onboarding exercise today. They will provide you with... We're not showing the slides, are we?
No. There we go.
Wrong one?
Wrong one.
No worries. So, yeah, continue, Sohan. Talk about...
Yep. First, we had customer complaints about wrong unicorns arriving at the pickup point. They ordered a group unicorn, but instead a single unicorn showed up. However, the most concerning issue of all is the increasing rate of customer no-shows. It happens. Now, we're not quite sure if our unicorns are too slow and customers just leave, or if someone is sending fraudulent requests. So whatever the reason, it needs to stop, and we're losing a lot of money. Speaking of money.
Yeah, we're also losing money on unprofitable rides. So why would anyone send a unicorn to the other part of town to give someone a lift around the corner? Needless to say, this needs to stop too. So if a ride is not profitable, it needs to be rejected. So onboard singing unicorns. that might be a task for our purchasing team, so maybe ignore that one. My own yacht, I think that's for
HR.
Cut it. Yeah, that's for HR. They need to add this to my company benefits. I'm sorry about that. But last but not least, security services asked me to add the fraud alert topic to the list. I don't think it's a big deal, but this team is known for getting really nervous very quickly. There is already something that Norbert built, fraud prediction, something along those lines. Apparently, it is clever enough to learn things like a human. So please prioritize so security services stop calling me every 5 minutes, basically. So it's now time to learn more about our unicorns. So be prepared to be amazed.
All right, so our fleet consists of standard walking unicorns available as a single or group unicorns. These walking unicorns, they're very reliable, but also very hungry and with a high maintenance cost. What goes in must come out, and I'll just leave it at that. Right? And then we have the latest addition to our fleet, flying unicorns. And they are awesome, of course, and they travel at the speed of light. Okay, maybe not the speed of light, but they're far faster than their walking colleagues. But most importantly, they are sustainable. And why are they sustainable? Well, they benefit from surrounding airflows when flying through the sky, like birds. So think of unicorn birds. Right? Anyway, they use less energy and don't quite require constant feeding. And because they aren't using the road but the sky, we save a lot of road tax. And all of these are clues.
And in the beginning, you will only have walking unicorns in your stable, but these can then be upgraded on the marketplace. So here you'll find also additional items to help your business grow and solve problems like customer service and spot unicorns. So upgrading your customer service will give you twice as much ride quests to earn extra points. Conversely, customer service can also take you points 2 times faster. So be sure to downgrade if you're losing points. And finally, spot unicorns are extra unicorns that are activated during chaos events, allowing you to respond to spikes in demand.
All right, so let's now dive into the everyday technical operations. I'm sure most of you are now asking, what does the solutions architecture look like? Does that really matter? Is documentation really important as a programmer or a builder? Well, we thought, for the heck of it, let's just take a look at how it goes. So this is the existing architecture, right? And one of the former employees was kind enough to add some notes to the architecture diagram to guide your first step. Each team will be given access to their very own AWS infrastructure, which looks like this, right? Of course, without the post-it notes. This is important, though. You only get the part on the right side, right? The other part is off limits as it's run by HQ. And well, I don't think they've given us access. I don't know. As you can see, you have everything you need to fulfill ride requests. Your team can receive and confirm ride requests, dispatch a unicorn to pick up passengers from one location and drop them off in another location.
And I know that last slide was a bit too much. So this is a very simple illustration that some of you might need. So we receive a request. Well, actually, it's probably hundreds or thousands of requests. So then we validate the request. And why? Because first off, we want to make sure we have the right unicorn to satisfy our customers' expectations. We want to make sure that the ride request is worthy of our time from a financial perspective. And we also want to avoid fraudulent requests. In summary, we check for the most sustainable option while ensuring profitability. Cha-ching.
Yeah.
If all is okay, then we allocate the unicorn and then we send it on its way to the pickup point.
So one final request from us before we go. Please be aware that this week is one of the busiest in the city, right? And indeed, this is a good time to launch Infinite Dash and grow our seats. I didn't want to say it again, but we shouldn't be growing our C-Suite's bank account. That's not official messaging, right? Maybe I shouldn't.
No.
And yeah, let's just skip that. Each day of the week is represented in 30-minute slots, and your dashboard will be informed, or rather will inform you on how many minutes are left until the next day. So on each passing day, you'll get a new unicorn, and you'll also be notified of upcoming, started, and finished chaos events, right? There are chaos events, yes. At any point, you can look at the documentation to find out what you can do proactively to be ready for these upcoming chaos events. And well, that's all from me. I'll now pass it back to our CTO, Gunnar.
So then, thank you, Sohan. Before letting all of you new hires tackle our improvement opportunities, I wanted to introduce you to navigating the player dashboards you'll be working with today. Our team of stable hands have produced a PDF walkthrough guide, all of this for you, so don't worry about taking notes. Is that so?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, well, we have all of the PDFs here, so
yeah.
just...
And also, these are experts. They know
please.
all of this, but hell, we're just going to go through it anyway.
All right.
So our Unicorn Rental stable hands are now coming around, or we have already sent it to you on email. So yeah, when you load up the player dashboard, you'll be asked to enter this in enter your 12-digit hash on the dashboard. Keep this hash a secret, of course. You don't want another franchise to get a hold of it.
Yeah, so that email you received, it contained a hash code. The hash code is what you'll enter here. Then you'll be navigated to this screen without the circles and, of course, the points. When you sign in, and the first thing you'll want to do is to make sure that your team name is set correctly. And hopefully, you'll have the same team name as from your qualifier. So check the name, make sure that it is correct. This dashboard also contains links to get to your AWS environment. You all know this from the qualifying rounds. It works in the same way, so you can access the AWS console and the CLI. But also, you have a link and the login details for the Infinidash business dashboard, the ones that our stable hands have put together for you. So let's take a look at that now. On
the Infinidash business dashboard, we are providing you some amazing insight into all the important things that are happening here, right? So you find your points, hints of fraud, and also unicorn utilization, and also stats, trends, and a lot more. So keep a close lookout on this dashboard. At the top, you have a map that shows your unicorn's movement, so you can see where they are and if they're busy. We encourage you to spend some time at the start of the game to look around here, familiarize yourself with the various pages on the dashboard because it is key to your progress today. Here are some hints. Right, so you can click here to see more information about ride status events. Right, there's the arrow here, there, here. Yeah, about ride status events. Click on the unicorns on the magnifying glass to see more info. Here's an example. Click here to see more info on the step function used for each ride. Right, and here's another example, and you can see all the details right there. Click these icons to be taken to documentation about why the scoring events, or what the scoring events can mean. Right? And once you familiarize yourself with this dashboard, you'll be asking, what should I be doing? Hopefully, Norbert, Sue, and all the other stable hands who have put this together have other tasks for you to really get stuck into. And they can be found on the left-hand menu option right here. Yeah.
Where? Here?
Yeah, there we go.
Or here?
There, yes.
There, okay. Nice. There, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Sohan. So silly. This task board then provides an overview of the tasks to be completed and the status of these tasks. These are great for tracking progress throughout the tasks. And the tasks will include links that will take you to the Uni Wiki. And should you need more information about your unicorns, the infrastructure, and more, it also contains a direct link to the marketplace and side projects. And then?
Yeah, the UniWiki is where you can find useful information about the architecture, the technical documentation left behind by the previous team, the marketplace, also how to earn points, how to stop losing points, the events through the week, and more. Right? So make sure to spend some time here at the start and throughout the game. As with any good programmers, spend some time reading the documentation before you start.
And then the dashboard also contains a link to the leaderboard, so you can see how your franchise is doing compared to others.
From time to time, the leadership team will send important messages to you. Right? So these will pop up at the top of your screen while you are in the game day console. Again, pay attention to them as the messages contain hints about upcoming events. Here's a tip. Most of you all are in teams of 3 and 4, so assign one person to maybe look at that very carefully, because these can be very important for your game day today.
And then, of course, there's the link to the scoreboard. And the scoreboard is important. Why, Sohan?
Hey, it's all about winning, isn't it?
Oh, it was all about having
fun.
It's all about
having
yeah.
fun. No, my bad.
But besides having fun, it's all about winning. So keep an eye on that scoreboard. This is how we, at the end of the event, will know who our world champions are.
Finally, if you want to obtain an SSH key that's been pre-provisioned in your account, well, it's fairly obvious, I think, but click on the button that says SSH key. And you can get it after hitting this button to do things like access your EC2 instances.
Awesome. And now the README button is your gateway to the instructions for the game. Please read our fabulous manual. And then we have the remote assistance. So to each team, we have assigned a chime room. Please use that chime room, because that is how our stable hands will be able to reach you. And that is important. So use that chime room, connect to it, and be there throughout the game. This is how we will reach you. And this is also how you can request help from us, being in that chime room.
Yeah, so if you get stuck or if you need any help, please ask for help. Again, like Gunnar said, we have our famous stable hands who are ready and willing to help you out. To get a request from Unicorn Rental Support immediately, click on that help button and please type in the word help, right? And that's how you can actually request for help. Someone will jump into the chime room that you're part of and will help you out.
Right. And then if you're in chime, when you're in chime rather, don't raise your hand and expect someone to show up. Do what Sohan said. Use the dashboard for getting help. We will not see you raising your hand. And also, it doesn't help if you raise your hand in the room you're in as well, I think. We don't have a slide for that, but I think it's obvious maybe. Yeah. Final hints.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised people are still here. But some final hints, well, of course, click on the icons for more info. Make sure you read the READMEs and the PDF. Keep a close eye on the dashboards. Use the US West to Oregon regions. Avoid unprofitable or fraudulent rides, but mainly use the UniWiki to help you out, right? A lot of information is going to be there. And also don't be afraid to ask for help. We have our roaming stable hands available for help. So just type in help and we can go there. It's really important that you read the runbook, familiarize yourself with the infrastructure and its logic, then look at the problems and see how you could solve them. This game day is 3 hours long, so there's a lot of time to actually do the things that you want to do and fix everything that you want to fix.
So, as mentioned earlier, our security team is very nervous.
Yeah.
So please prioritize this fraud topic that we talked about. That's super important. And someone mentioned this game day is 3 hours long. We will soon start the game. And when we start the game, you all have 3 hours to gain as many points as possible. And what happens when you have the most points at the end of the 3 hours, Sohan?
We will crown you the world champion.
The world champion of the AWS GameDay World Championship. You will get your hands on the awesome trophy.
And get to go to reInvent 2022 and maybe meet us as well. Yeah. I don't think that's much of an incentive to too many people, but
no.
You still can.
Maybe someone. Yeah. Maybe someone. All right. And with that, I think it is time.
Yeah, it's time
to get started. So go to the dashboard, use the hash that you've received in your email and log in. Now, when we've pressed the start button of the game, you should now start seeing things there. I saw a message in the chat that people were just seeing something about game not started because the game hasn't started until now.
Yeah.
So go into the dashboard and let's get to it.
I have official confirmation that the event has officially started. So you can go to your dashboard, enter the hash code and start your engines.
Let the games begin.
Yep.
Exciting, Sohan.
Yeah. We are going to be here for pretty much most of the next 3 hours. We'll be interviewing people, we'll be having some fun, we'll be having some games. For those of you all watching and not playing, we do have a question for you. And there are prizes to be won at the end of today. So teams in the chat, put what you think the winning team's score will be, right? So just put in chat what you think the winning team's score will be. Just put a random number. Let's see what it is. And the team that comes closest or gets an answer correct gets prizes, right? And at the end of today, we will announce them.
So maybe we can give some hints looking back at the qualifiers. So I remember one game where the winning team had about 12,000 points.
Yeah, but I also remember one where someone had, I think, 13 million. So I think that's a decent range for you.
So
to take
somewhere between 12,000 and 13 million.
Yeah, that's a decent range.
Yeah. So take a guess, and we'll have prizes for the winning teams or the winning guess at the end. Closest counts. I don't think it needs to be exact.
We're also going to have many quiz questions, trivia, interviews, and a whole lot of fun for the next 3 hours. Yeah, so even if you're not taking part, stay on the stream, and here's a chance to win some prizes or just see how people are playing game day.
I'm super excited to be here in the finals finally. I don't get to compete. I just get to be here in a silly unicorn onesie and be a bit silly.
Yeah.
I think that's fun enough. 42 points is the guess from Talimir. I'm not sure. It might be close.
Yeah, Lockhead 128 says 450K.
Yep.
Brosbert says 1.5 million. We're getting some good guesses. All right, folks, so we're going to take a break for 5 minutes, and we'll be back with the start of the game day. We'll see what the initial scores look like, and we'll also be back with some interviews, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right here.
All right, folks, and we are back. Very short break this time. So we've seen some questions in the chat about the region to use, and somehow people were confused with our instructions. I'm not sure. We've spent hours or minutes at least on the presentation.
Seconds maybe.
Yeah. So the region to use is EU West 1. If you thought anything else, well, you have been misinformed, I'd say.
Yeah, that was my bad. So again, sorry about that. It is EU West 1, not 2. I think for the folks who mentioned it in the chat, thanks for bringing that up.
Yes.
For our notice. It is indeed EU West 1.
So with that, we have some more guesses of the winning score. Should we take a look?
Yeah, let's take a look. Someone said
570K.
Maybe 90K, maybe. We have many around the 100K mark. Right?
Yeah.
Jev Suave says 90K. Sony Sachin, I think, says 98K. Someone saying 570K. We have 1.5 million, which is...
I think that's a good guess. All right. So maybe in the meantime, while the teams are getting started with the game, maybe we should do our first quiz question.
Yeah, let's do that. So the rules of the game are pretty simple. We will ask you a quiz question, and you can put the answer in the chat. Feel free to look up the answer on your favorite search engine, whatever, it's all good. But the first person to give the correct answer, again, wins prizes. and Arctic Fox, who's in the chat, will get in touch with you about prizes. So are you ready, Gunnar, for the first question?
I am.
Yeah, okay, so you're going to read it out and I'm going to put it on the screen. Here we go.
So the AWS cloud spans how many availability zones with our 27 geographic regions around the world? So how many availability zones do we have in the AWS cloud? Do you know the answer, Sohan?
I do know the answer, but again, this is as of today. This is a value that changes fairly often because that we keep expanding our global infrastructure. But as of today, how many availability zones within the 27 geographic regions around the world? You can see now why it was easy, or I made that mistake earlier about the region for the game day.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. And well, answers are starting to fall in.
Yeah. Well, someone said 3, which unfortunately is not the right answer. We did get some right answers. I think 3 people announced it almost simultaneously, but the first one is Sony Sachin 2411, who said 87. That is absolutely the correct answer. Congratulations, Sony Sachin 2411. Arctic Fox will get in touch with you for a prize. It is indeed 87.
That's great. So 87 availability zones for our regions across the world. And so on. What is an availability zone?
Oh, wait. To echo Popa Ptolemy, I thought this was a serious channel. Do you want us to get serious, Gunnar, and talk about things like availability?
Yeah, let's get serious.
Okay. Yeah, so Sony Sachin wins that.
That's great. And Arctic Fox is going to get in touch with you with the awesome prize that we have for our quiz questions. So we can see now that the teams are getting started. We've seen teams log in and they are getting ready to start playing the game. I'm guessing they are now focusing on the instructions, getting through those instructions to understand what they're supposed to do, basically.
Yeah, we already have a few scoring events up on the screen. But once teams start building up these scoring events, we will have a live scoreboard so that we can have a play-by-play as well. So yeah, give us a couple of minutes. We'll have a live scoreboard up and running for you.
We have, just taking a sneak peek at it. It's quite close at the moment between the teams. And looking at the scores right now, I think we had, what was the guess?
570K.
Or 42. I think 42. That's closest right now. But
right now.
Some teams have already passed 42. So
hey, there are chaos events as well. So you never.
They are. You never know. So we'll bring up the scoreboard as well in a bit. So what's next then, Sohan?
Well, we'll take a break. We'll get our scoreboard in place and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. We also have an interview with one of the teams lined up in, I think, about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, in about 7 minutes. So yeah, we'll be back then.
All right. We will see you all in a bit. Hey folks, we are back. Hopefully the teams by now have started to actually do things with their infrastructure.
Yeah, we're seeing a bunch of scoring events already, and there already seems to be some sort of shape to the leaderboard. Already very exciting. So maybe we'll take a look at the scoreboard right now.
So what is pretty exciting as well is that we recognize these names. These are well-known teams to us by now, since we've seen all of these teams compete in the qualifying rounds. So right now, the scoreboard looks like this. We have Team Metacorn at the top.
Yeah, Team Metacon were from the first qualifier in the Americas region. They finished in the top 5, of course, and yeah, great performance so far today.
And I think an interesting detail about that team is the size of the team, maybe?
It's a small team. It's a very small team. As far as we can tell, it's not 4 people in the team. So all power to you, Metacon.
Yeah. Then we have D55 in second position right now.
Yeah. In fact, in the first ever qualifier that we did, D55 finished in the top 3, if I remember correctly. I've done so many of these events right now. But I do know that they performed fantastically well in that first ever qualifier that we ran about a month ago.
And then we have Amy's Chicken Wings, one of the best names in all of this competition, I think.
Yeah, there was a fun story behind the name as well, right, Gunnar? I think you were on that stream.
Yeah, so if I remember everything correctly, so the team, Amy doesn't belong to the team.
Okay.
But the team chose the name as an homage to Amy. And Amy has been at reInvent and taken part in the chicken wing eating competition. Yeah. What's the name of that competition?
I think it's called the Hatonka Challenge. Is that it?
Yeah, if someone knows, post the name in the chat for us.
It happens every year at reInvent. So, if you're going to reInvent, or if you win some world championship, something that might give you tickets to reInvent, well, then please do check out the Chicken Wing Challenge as well.
And then taking part, and Amy won that competition. And now we have Amy's Chicken Wings taking part in the finals of the AWS GameDay World Championship. Then we have Team Cutover.
Yeah, Team Cutover were, I think, in one of the American... No, they were in the third qualifier of the EMEA.
So that was, that was the 9th and final qualifier. So they waited until the very last moment to secure their position in the finals. And then we have Team Hephaistos.
Also from the first qualifier that we ran way back a month ago. I think we've aged a lot in the last month or so, running this World Championship for you. This team did really well. I remember we even had them on stream, didn't we, Gunnar?
I believe that is correct. Tatonka. Okay, you were close.
I was close.
Yeah. So the Tatonka Challenge at reInvent, that's a highlight for many. I think that is basically at the beginning of reInvent. Yeah. So one of the first thing, and it's great to have a highlight at the beginning, I guess.
Yeah. Let's go down that list maybe. And
so you're expecting me to do multiple things at a time. All right. So
wait. Oh, that's not the screen. Oh. We'll get to the scoreboard in a bit. But not too much movement so far. This is still very much early days in the game day. Like I said, it's 3 hours long. The game day ends at 8:30 p.m. Central European, CEST. So there's still lots to go in this game day. And we have the screen right now.
We don't.
About the trend column. Yes, that's actually a good point. Yeah, thanks, Arctic Fox. So you will see 2 columns there. One is the total points, which indicates the total points a team has accumulated. You will also see another column, if you scroll up, called trend, where in this case you see things like -2, -1, all of that. So that is in the last X number of minutes, what points have been accumulated for a certain scoring event by that team. So it could be something positive, it could be something negative as well. So in this case, you see Spacepark Solutions have got a trend of -2, which means something happened by which they lost 2 points in the recent past.
And if you've been in any of the qualifying events, you also know that these trends and the scores, they differ quite a lot based on the game day you're playing. We had events where teams ended up with scores in the millions and the very high millions as well. And in this case, well, we have just crossed above 200 points.
again, early days, so still a long way to go.
Right. So we are waiting for one of the teams to join us on the stream. We're still hoping that they will be able to join us. I'm guessing they are deep down in the documentation right now, trying to understand this game day and how they can help Infinidash be successful.
Yeah, we won't fault them for that one. I mean, I think there's a lot at stake. So yeah, put your heads down and get into that game day. We will be back in a bit then, Gunnar.
We will. So see you all in a bit. All right, we are back again. And hopefully we will now have some exciting guests for you all. So let's bring them on straight away.
Hey.
Hey, fellas. We are struggling with
Hey, folks, can you
all
hear
the
us?
pieces. Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
So welcome, everyone. So who do we have on? Which team?
It's Cloud Avengers.
Cloud Avengers.
Welcome, fellas. And tell us about how you ended up in the finals.
Well, we make the shortcuts.
So you took part in the first qualifier, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we are the
first qualifier for EMEA.
And that took you then to the finals.
Yeah.
And so far then, you are 30 minutes into the finals.
Yes.
How's the progress so far?
Not bad. We already completed a task.
and we are trying to find out the second way.
Let's see.
Yeah. So, folks, you all had an interesting story from the first qualifying event, right? Like, I think it was a remote team. Are you all working remotely this time as well, or are you all? I'm guessing you're not in the same room.
No, it's fully remote. So we have two from Zurich and two from Gothenburg.
Ooh, nice. That's a very international team. All right. And should we pull up the scoreboard, Gunnar, and see how the team's doing?
I think we should.
Yeah, there we go.
We can't see you in the top right now.
Yes,
but again, it's early days. So
let's scroll this.
Yeah. And any tips, folks, for how you all won the first qualifier, or at least in the top 5 in the first qualifier?
I think the primary goal should be to read the instructions properly, go through the steps, try to find out. Am I audible? Sorry. The primary goal should be. Yeah. So I think the primary goal should be to go through the instructions and then stick to your basics, and then I think there was a good term that you invited last qualifiers called ClickOps. Put your ClickOps hat on and then go through the console and hack things. And that's
well, I've always been a fan of ClickOps. Gunnar is always telling me not to. Well, at least if you're having fun, maybe not like in production. So yeah, maybe it's a cool trick or a cool tip for doing well in a game day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for these shorter type events like a game day, it's hard to perhaps fully automate everything and use infrastructure as code. It's just a matter of solving the issues as they arise for you.
Yeah.
And have any of y'all folks been to reInvent, right? And if not, are you looking forward to it if y'all do end up winning today?
Yes, I think we are all looking forward to it.
And have you been to reInvent before?
Unfortunately not, but this year we are looking forward to it, and this platform provides a very good opportunity for us to showcase our skills, and hopefully we will be able to achieve and then go to Las Vegas. So finger crossed.
That's awesome. So best of luck of you all. We don't want to keep you away from the game, so maybe we should let the team get back to what they do best and try to solve the tasks at hand.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. See you later.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that's interesting to hear their way to the finals and now how they look at this as well. So back to the scoreboard. What do we see now? We still have Metacorn at the top.
Yeah, not much has changed in the top 3. We have Metacorn in the top, D55 in second, and Spacebug Solutions now in third. Just a quick note, though, there is like 14 points separating first to third. So again, anything can happen. Below we have Cutover and Amy's Chicken Wings. So these are the 4-5 teams that have been in the top 5 since the start of today's game day. Remains to be seen if they will stay in the top 5, but good start.
Yeah, and if you make any interesting observations throughout playing this game, let us know in the chat as well what's happening for your team. It would be nice to hear from more of the teams throughout. So we are now about 30 minutes into the game, I believe. That also means that we'll now probably move into the second phase of the game day.
Yeah. If you remember in the earlier presentation, we showed you how, and I'm just going to remove the scoreboard, we showed you how this was a busy week for Infinite Dash, and every day there was a new event. Well, as of now, Wednesday is starting, which means there are new events coming your way, which means things change. So again, make sure you look at your dashboard, keep a keen eye out on your dashboard for things that might be changing, because as of now, Wednesday has officially started in-game.
And exactly what Wednesday means, well, that's something for you to look at, and look at what's happening in your dashboard. It will give you hints, and think about the things, the tips that we gave you throughout that presentation as well, to see that you do it as best as possible. So we're just getting some messages on the side. Teams are, they are hard at work at the moment, what it seems like. We're checking in on our stable hands to see what's happening with the teams. Right.
Cool. So we're going to have another short break and we'll be back with another team, right? And this time we're going to interview this team called Lambda People, right? They did fantastically well in their qualifier and they had a lot of fun tips on why they actually did well and what their secret to teamwork was. So maybe we'll get to hear that from them. Until then, though, keep on hacking.
We're back, everyone, and things shift quickly in this part of the game. We've seen some exciting changes on the scoreboard, so maybe bring that up, Sohan.
Yeah, so we have a team that wasn't in the top 5 earlier, RYCL, currently leading with a 4-point lead.
And then we have our friends Hephaistos, who we did see on the top before. They are now, well, they just moved down to 3rd with Metacorn, our previous leader, now in 2nd position.
Yeah. And we rounding up the top 5 is EC3 Root at GameDay.tw. right, who are in 5th place. But again, it's super close. There are hardly 25 points, I think, separating the top 4 or 5. So still long days.
Let's try it out with a scroll this time. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
So we then have Team D55 closely behind, followed by Amy's Chicken Wings from the Tatonka. Tatonka. There we go. Tatonka Challenge. Then SMSM, recognize them as well from one of the qualifying events. A team made up of people with the initials S, M, S, and M, I believe. Yeah. Jambassador, Crash Loop Feedback, Delete Win 32, Space Pug Solutions, 1XSRE, a bunch of well-known teams. Just scrolling through. And then a bit further down, we see Team Lambda people. And I think that's a great segue to bringing on another guest. So, hello. Mikael.
Yeah, sorry, we were muted. So there is a...
Hey everyone.
It's first of all, thanks for joining in, and it's so nice to see everyone in the same room playing. Hope you're having fun. I know you're not doing super well on the scoreboard so far, but we've seen how things can change from your earlier qualifier, right?
Yeah, but we just upgraded one of the unicorns, so we lost 200 points just before going live. So yeah.
Right. We can see that you have a decent trend as well. So hopefully you'll start climbing in the scoreboard, and we can see that happening already now.
We're crossed. We have today our special tools, like special friends. Cat. All about has those. Yeah, guys. Lucky cats. Lucky cats.
Oh, that's really good.
That's nice.
We have Ernie helping us out here. So this is my Lego unicorn, and Arctic Fox named them Ernie, so we're sticking with Ernie because that's a great name. Our lucky charm as well.
Perfect.
Yeah. So where are you all based out of, Lambda people?
Could you repeat? Sorry.
Which city, country are you based out of?
We're from Poland, based in Katowice.
Nice, yeah.
And I believe it's busy days for you now with both game days every other week, basically, and other events as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we just finished or went away from the conference, like the biggest community-based cloud conference, Cloudyna in Katowice. Went to the office just to play this fun game, and then maybe some after party. We'll see.
Sounds like a good plan. And then you also have another finals coming up in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, the F1 game day. So we'll see what will happen.
Yep. Full throttle, as someone posts in the chat.
Yeah.
Right.
So last time you all did really well, and I think you all had some nice tips on how you can improve at game day, right? And I think you all are one of the most experienced teams. So what tips do you have to people either playing the finals or who haven't played a game day before and want to try it out?
Yeah, once again, I will say that it's about splitting the responsibilities and team play. So from one side, don't be afraid of asking your colleagues, but in the same time, you shouldn't focus on one task, the whole team, because there will be no time for other tasks.
Interesting. Okay. And well, with that, I think, we don't want to keep them too long, and we want to see them climb up that scoreboard. So we leave it to it, Mikael and Lambda people. Good luck. Thanks for joining us.
The topic of fraud detector is waiting. So.
All right. Okay. Get to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
I want to give a quick shout out to Chris, who says, love the new onesie so well. Chris helped me get this. So thanks so much, Chris, for hooking me up with this sweet onesie. I'll hopefully get a chance to use it outside of Unicorn Rentals as well. Who knows? Halloween's coming up too.
Yeah, let's see if you get to keep your job at Unicorn Rentals first.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for another quiz question.
Yeah, I know. I love quizzing, and I feel the need for some quiz questions right now.
Feel the need to quiz.
Speedy cuisine. No.
Yeah.
I forced that one.
Yeah.
All right. So again, the rules of this are simple, folks. We are going to ask you a quiz question. The first one in the chat that puts up the correct answer wins a prize. And Arctic Fox in the chat will help you out and will get in touch with you with the prize. Again, feel free to look up your favorite search engine, do whatever research, but again, speed matters like in business. So here goes the question. And Gunnar, you're going to read it out as well.
All right.
Here we go.
So how many Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instances were launched per day in 2021? How many EC2 instances were launched in 2021?
Yeah, you may be surprised by the answer. So again, I think we might give it to the nearest correct answer as well. Yeah, but take a wild guess. There's nothing to lose. And yeah, the right answer or the nearest correct answer will win a prize.
And if you watched our re-event recap in February, I think you know this answer because it was mentioned there. It was 6 months ago,
yeah,
7.
It was also mentioned, I think, in Werner Vogel's keynote at reInvent. Someone says 100K. Someone has said 120K, I think that is. Yeah, Aloxlander. We're getting some guesses.
Keep guessing, people.
Keep guessing. There are prizes to be won.
I want to see what Arctic Fox guess is on this one as well. You can't win, but you can guess.
Yeah, Marvos X has 69. Nice guess, but unfortunately.
200.
200.
How many EC2 instances were launched per day in 2021? 1 million from Arctic Fox. 1.2 million. I can't even say that name. It's on screen.
X in X, day, and C.
Okay.
I tried.
Yeah. So how many EC2 instances were launched per day in 2021? Can we say guess a bit higher?
Yeah, guess higher, folks. Guess higher. It's an impressively large number. So guess higher.
Day and C. Yeah. All right. I'm not cool enough for this.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah. My screen name is Gunnar Grosch.
Yeah, mine's Sohan Maheshwar.
Yeah. 2 million, 56 million.
56 million, 800K. So
we
haven't got the exact answer. We have got someone who's gotten close, so we can still wait.
Yeah, we'll wait a bit. I was surprised to see this number, to be honest, in the reInvent keynote. It's a pretty high number.
Yeah.
2.1 million. And now, Sohan?
Yes, looks like we do have the correct answer.
We do have a winner.
Ding, 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 ding.
Eloy VC.
Yeah, I think so.
60 million. The answer to the question of how many EC2 instances are launched per day in 2021 is 60 million EC2 instances. That is a pretty high number.
That is a very high number, right? And if you go back and watch Werner Vogel's keynote from last year, you'll actually see the slide where he said 60 million instances launched per day in 2021. That boggles the mind.
It does. It does.
Boggles the mind. So yeah,
very
Eloy
cool.
VC, congratulations on either a very informed guess or some great research. Arctic Fox will get in touch with you, and yeah, you will win a prize. We have many more quiz questions and prizes to be won, so stay tuned to the stream. We don't know how many are still running and how many of those were deleted within 1 minute. Those numbers, well, we don't know.
We don't, but I would guess that it's a mix of very ephemeral EC2 instances being used and long-running EC2 instances as well. But yeah, it's a super high number.
And Gunnar, before we go on a break, should we quickly check the scores?
I think it's time.
Yeah, let's do it. Still the same top 5, only the orders might have changed a little.
RYCL, if I remember correctly, is also a quite small team.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
So maybe we can check that fact or get RYCL to say true or false in the chat. It just shifted a bit, so we now see Metacorn back at the top. But I think Mikael mentioned an interesting fact, of course, that if you buy new unicorns, it will affect your score. So they dropped 200 points in the scoreboard by buying or acquiring a new unicorn. So that will affect the scoreboard.
Yeah. Hey, we have deployed to Produ. I haven't seen in a while on Twitch.
That's Rafa. Hi.
Hello. These are unicorn onesies, actually, Rafa. It's not just a jacket. It would be weird to show this to you on stream, but these are onesies.
They are. And using them in the studio is an interesting experience, I think is the phrase.
Yeah.
It's getting hot in here. And that might just be that it's an exciting competition going on. So everyone, this is the AWS GameDay World Championship finals. We are now finally in the finals of this GameDay World Championship. So we've run 9 qualifying events in the last month where we have teams from all over the world competing to then reach the finals. The top teams from each qualifying event went through to today compete against each other in this finals. And the end prize is glory, of course. You can call yourself the world champions of AWS GameDay. You get to lay your hands on the awesome trophy that we have behind us, but there is more.
Yeah, there's also an all-expense paid trip to AWS reInvent 2022, where you can have the Tatonka chicken wing challenge with us, maybe. We don't know. Maybe not the second part for sure, but you will win an all-expense paid trip to reInvent.
And that's, it's an exciting thing to compete for. To be honest, I remember my first reInvent and how excited I was to be able to get there. And so we'll see. It might be people who've never been to the US, to Las Vegas, or to reInvent before that get to go there now by becoming the world champions.
All right, so we're going to take another break, folks. We'll come back with the scoreboard. We'll come back with more interviews. Stay tuned. We have more prizes to be won. And we also have an interview with folks within AWS who have actually worked on building the game day that you're playing right now. And they've actually worked on building different quests for game day. Super excited to see what their insight is into how you actually build and develop a game day. So we'll have that for you very soon, but we're going on a quick break. See you on the other side.
See you all.
Hey, welcome back to AWS GameDay World Championship final. I'm Sohan and this is Gunnar. So we've seen few things change in the scoreboard again. We've had a new entrant to the top 5, which is the team named Indians at 75. And they're at 374 points, quite on the heels of Lambda people who we just had on the stream. Maybe let's scroll through the scoreboard as, who was it, I think, as SLT in Texas asked for. Before that, Cloud Saucy is saying, how do you request for help again? Well, if you're playing the game day, go to your remote assistant module, click on the help button and type help in the text box and make sure you're in the chime room assigned to you. One of our stable hands will jump in and help you out.
So let's take a look at that scoreboard then. We can see EC3 root at the top. With
commanding lead too.
Yeah, well, in this game, I think that is a commanding lead, to be honest. Then we have RYCL following, and Lambda people, as you mentioned, they have now climbed from, they were quite far down in the scoreboard, now climbed to a top 3 position. Seasoned game day team. Interesting to see that trend there as well. And we then have Metacorn, who has been in the lead for most of the game day so far, now in 4th position, I believe it is. Switching, yeah, switching between Indian 75 and Metacorn. So let's scroll a bit then, if we're able to. There we go. We can see now it's switching quickly. Team Aussie, that is a team I believe is a mix from Germany and China.
China, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And then Amy's Chicken Wings, Yumenishiki.
Yeah. Silence of the Lambdas, Cloud Avengers, who by the way were near the bottom earlier, and they're doing pretty well. Our favorite team from the Czech Republic, whose name is so hard to mention or so hard to pronounce, also doing very well.
It's jumping back and forth constantly now when it's so close between the teams. Silence of the Lambdas, a team of community builders from Sweden, actually. We had them on as guests in one of the previous qualifying rounds. It's hard to scroll in this when it's jumping around. The teams are jumping up and down constantly.
And as Arctic Fox says, the scores are fairly close so far, right? And I think we have 2 more hours for the game day to actually take place, which means there's a lot of time for things to change. Still early days. So speaking of things changing, Gunnar, It is 6:30 our time, or maybe 3 minutes past, which means in your game right now, it's Thursday. And it's Thursday, so you know what that means. That means +1 unicorn added to your fleet currently. Like we said, there is a timetable. It's a busy week for Infinidash and Unicorn rentals. So yeah, now you have a new unicorn to your fleet.
And to perhaps give us some more insights to this game day and AWS Game Days overall, I think we're going to bring on some more guests to the show right now. So with us in the green room, and hopefully, should I bring them on?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
We have
Jorge and Ana Maria. Jorge, Ana Maria, welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Hello. You guys look amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
Looking sharp.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We try. So, Ana Maria, why don't you introduce yourself first?
Yeah, for sure. So, hello. Well, my name is Ana Maria, and I'm a senior solutions architect based in Copenhagen, in Denmark. And together with Jorge here, we've been part of the development team for Infinidash.
And Jorge?
Hey. Yes, about myself. Solutions architect for 3 years now at AWS. It's been quite a ride, 20 years in the IT industry, and along with Ana Maria and a fantastic set of other solutions architects within AWS, we were part of the team that built the game day that you're just experimenting right now. Of course, it's a version of the game on top of the platform that it's maintained by a much wider community, and it has lots of games on it. But at least this specific topic, yep, we're the ones. We're the ones.
Very cool. So this is the 4th blueprint that we're using in this World Championship. And I think this is a super exciting one. And I think the it's challenging for the teams. And can you tell us a bit about how you created this game day?
Go ahead, Anna Maria.
Yeah, of course. I think we can add some words to it. So you know how it is at AWS that we base pretty much everything on narratives and stories that then get turned into actions. Game days kind of follow the same process. So before we even sat down to write any kind of lines of code, we had to write a narrative around what we're actually doing here. And for me, it was surprising because we had to attack it from a lot of angles, right? So it wasn't only about the technical side and the theme of the game day. It was also about what do we actually want to teach the end players, right? So I think that's where we spent the biggest amount of time. I think we narrowed it down pretty soon to going with something that around ride-hailing services. Even the name Infinidash, we kind of settled on that pretty soon. I think where we spend most time around, what do we want to teach the end users and basically the AWS community?
That's amazing, because I think having played this game day before and having prepped for this event, there's so much that you learn because of the narrative and because of way the game day is structured. You're also enjoying it at the same time. So kudos to you and the team on designing this beautiful game day.
Thank you. We'll pass it along to everyone.
Let me add it as well. Anna Maria mentioned the community and listening to the community. We on top of the narratives, we add something else, which is being customer obsessed and working backwards from what customers are asking. In this case, we try to do that and try to envision a business and then build the platform from the business. And we took from the community the Infinidash name. If you remember back then, it was trending on social networks, and we thought this name is fantastic. Someone figure it out. We'll use the logo, we'll use the name, and basically we interacted with it. We added to the story, and it felt great. Looks great. So here it is. So someone mentioned that there was an Infinidash service. It was not actually a service. It was a game, and the community actually invented it. But so thank you for everyone.
I think that's a super funny story around this as well, and everyone reacts to the name. And some people, I think there's a term for that when you believe, you think that you remember something and people remember it as an AWS service. Is it Mandela effect? Yeah.
As Taylor says, as Arctic Fox says, Anna Maria and Jorge, is it fair to assume and to say that the community inspires you? Yeah, I think I know what the answer is, but I'll let you take this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe for me personally, the biggest challenge is to listen to the community more at a global level than a local one. But at a local level, I try to involve myself from the very beginning. And when I got the chance to participate in developing a game day, I saw it like just another way to think big and basically engage with everyone on an even higher level. So I was super happy to be part of this opportunity. I don't know. What about you, Jorge?
We usually say that 90% of what we build on AWS is on customer request. So it's customers' fault, it's the community's fault, and the other 10% is things that we infer. I think this was definitely the case. And also, we measure how things are in terms of social networks, for example, by getting people's comments, anecdotes, and we definitely monitor that when we launched this version of the game, the Infinidash version at reInvent. We monitor how the social networks reacted to it. We're constantly being inspired, evaluated, changing our course if that is the case, based on what people think of what we create. Yeah.
Is it possible to set a number at how much time is spent on actually developing something like this? Do you have a clue of how much time you've spent on it?
I don't think we quantified exactly. I mean, we did have a deadline. The game day was supposed to get out before reInvent, right? And quite a bit of time before reInvent, also because we had to test it and do dry runs before going live with it. But it must have been well over 4 to 5 months. But do bear in mind that this for us, it was also more of a hobby project. and we still had to spend time with our day-to-day customers. And basically, we tried to allocate maybe 1 day per week for the game day.
Yes.
Sometimes, especially towards the end, it got to be a bit more than that. But that's what we started with, at least.
Yes, so let's say 5 months, 1 day per week, a team of around 10. And when we got close to reInvent, of course, that increased a little bit for us to prepare the event. But it just do the math, that is the kind of allocation that we had.
Well, that is quite something. I do have a question about the technical aspects. So maybe can we talk a little bit about what sort of technical knowledge and what is the tech process that goes through actually building something like this? Because our audience loves to hear about the tech behind certain things. So if you can tell us a bit about that.
Anna Maria, you're the expert. Go ahead.
Sure thing. I can share a bit of that. So I think it depends a lot on the game day, right? Because each game day has a bit of a different content. This one specifically, because it's so serverless heavy, you had to have a lot of knowledge around that. But that's only part of the module. And how we tried to also split it internally inside the team was to allow each and every solution architect to kind of pick whatever they were best at to kind of develop the content on that side. And I think Jorge is asking me to put some words on this because I was mostly in charge of the main ride simulator. So this was the piece of the subsystem in the game that took care of basically the whole ride simulation, but also the timeline. So when you're the module that is actually doing the passing of the days and ensuring that rules are applied across all the other modules. So this was the part I was in charge of. And Jorge, you can also talk a bit about what you spend most of your time on, I guess.
Yes, same kind of things. So serverless technology mostly. But you can see, players can see within their console what kind of technologies we used. So you have Terraform scripts there to build the resources. You have CDK stacks as well. So basically, the CDK stacks translate TypeScript in this case into CloudFormation stacks that then deploy the services. The services that we use mostly Lambda with Python. A few more languages, but mostly Python, DynamoDB databases, then IoT core, step functions, and then lots of React components to give that look and feel. And regarding the architectures, we followed event-driven architectures, front ends, reactive front ends. What else? I'm missing the other name, but a few modern application patterns that we use there that you can see when you look at the infrastructure within the console, and you can see as well by the tasks that you're following. So if you're following a task where you have to build things, you can assume that we actually need to know how to do those things. We had to know how to build it for you. We had to know how to play them. So that's the basic technology. On top of that, it's just automation and just applying the best paradigms. One last thing, which was interesting as well, was the exercise that Anna Maria mentioned in terms of creating the narrative. We created the narrative, and then we went through an event storming workshop where we try to identify how the event-driven architecture would be deployed. We use a few reference architectures from the AWS Solution Architecture portal, which anyone can have access to. And on top of that, we then started building the components. And within those components for CDK, for example, we use some of the standard libraries that you have, where you can reuse those libraries to build code quickly. So that's basically it. No rocket science around here.
You make it sound very easy, Jorge. Yeah.
One thing I think I would like to add.
All right. So, Jorge, Anna Maria, thank you so much for joining. I think we really appreciate the insights into what goes into building a game day.
I think you cut off Anna Maria just when she was going to add one more thing. So, Anna Maria, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a bit of delay, but that's not a problem. So I wanted to say that maybe there's a bit of additional complexity around working with multiple accounts, because if you think about game days, they're a bit of a hub and spoke model, right? You have a master account that is sort of supposed to orchestrate everything in the team accounts. And actually, the participants, they only see the team accounts, but you as the team developing everything, you have to take the master account into account. Yeah, pun intended.
Nice.
And think about how everything coordinates. And especially, it gets a bit challenging when you start deploying things and making sure that everything ties back nicely into the master account, and that you have the full overview of the team account, and yeah, everything, all the pieces fit together. I think that's the added complexity, as opposed to, just running a lab on an empty account or things like that.
Indeed.
Without giving too much away, are you working on any new game days right now?
Well, me personally, no. I know there's a lot of others being developed right now. I'm not sure if Jorge is contributing to any of them.
I'm supporting or sponsoring the Formula One game day, and that's a public one. So if anyone would like to join the session, it will be, I can't remember the date, end of October or beginning of November. But there's already on LinkedIn. You can join the session and see the winning teams. You can't actually play, because these are the teams that won the competitions throughout the AWS summits. You can try again next year, so you can try to win the competition on your own country, and then you get to this finale, which is the one that I'm supporting right now. But we're constantly doing these things. Make sure you follow reInvent. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, so one of the teams we have in the finals here of the GameDay World Championships, they are also taking part in the F1 Game Day finals. So Team Lambda people are apparently very good at game days to be able to get it to finals in 2 different competitions.
That's amazing.
Okay, with that, Ana Maria, Jorge, thank you very much for joining us, talking a bit about how you've developed this game day and game day development in general. Thank you very much.
It was our pleasure.
For the invite. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, well, we had Ana Maria and Jorge tell us about game day, but well, I do miss having some quizzes for our audience, and it's an opportunity for us to give prizes. So Gunnar, you think it's time?
Quiz time.
Quiz time? Is it quiz time?
Yeah, we didn't want to put Jorge and Ana Maria on the spot and ask them the question. That would seem a bit unfair, maybe. We just ask it here as we usually do. So, Sohan, what's our next question?
Okay, so I'm going to read this one out, right? And again, feel free to guess. Just take a wild guess. Nothing's going to happen. But again, you can also do your research and try and answer. First to get the correct answer, or if no one gets the correct answer, the nearest to the correct answer will win a prize, and Arctic Fox in the chat will get in touch with you. Here's your question. So on Amazon Prime Day in 2022, which is this year, Amazon Aurora processed how many billion transactions overall, right? So how many billion transactions overall did Amazon Aurora process on Prime Day 2022?
So there are, I guess, 3 ways to tackle this. One is just wild guess.
Yeah.
One is do your own research, like you said. Google it, basically. And the last one is remembering it from seeing a blog post or something.
Yeah, well, I don't know what approach Fisherman Guy Bro took, but it does look like we do have a correct answer. So we have many guesses. We have someone who said 35 billion. We said Hemel Leet, or 1337, who says 100 billion. We had Matesh, who I think is also playing Game Day. You should go back to playing Game Day. Focus. No, I'm kidding. Who said 288. But the first to answer right was Fisherman Guy Bro, who said 288 billion. Yes, that's right. It is indeed 288 billion transactions overall, right? So I don't even know how many zeros are there in that number, Gunnar.
There are a lot.
Many zeros, yeah.
Yes.
So again, yeah, on Prime Day 2022, Amazon Aurora actually processed 288 billion transactions overall. There's a great blog post by Jeff Barr, and I think I'll put it in the comments later, about the tech that goes behind Amazon Prime Day, right? And every year the numbers only get bigger and bigger. So yeah, make sure to check that out. Congrats again, Fisherman Guy Bro. That was a great answer. You have to tell us our secret, or your secret. How did you actually get that answer right? But yeah, other folks who got it right or came close, commiserations. We will have more prizes and more quiz questions in the rest of the stream. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, and I'm sure things have changed, right? I have a sneaking suspicion, Gunnar, that things have changed.
Things always change when it comes to AWS Game Days, and AWS GameDay World Championship Finals is no different. We can see some familiar names in there, but things have moved around a bit, and scores are starting to climb as well. We can see now in the top position, we have Indians at 75.
Yeah, they weren't in the top 5, so meteoric rise almost in the last 30 minutes or so. We still have RYCL, Metacon in the top 5, but again, another new entrant in the top 5, which is Team Alone. Do you think that's a solo participant, Gunnar? The team name seems to suggest.
It seems to suggest that, yes. So these are the top 4 teams at the moment, and there is still a long way to go. We are at Thursday in the event right now.
Yeah.
So we have several days to go before we can say who the world champion will be. So let's take a look. We are about 1 hour, 20 minutes into the game at the moment, and this is a 3-hour competition. So you will be competing for 3 hours. And we just saw a quick change in the scoreboard straight away. Indians at 75 just got 101 points deducted from the score, meaning that RYCL climbed to the top.
Yeah, and I can also see a new entrant in the top 5, which is Team Happy Game Day. They're in 5th place right now with 528 points. So again, this is going to change, but it's super exciting for us to follow it like at almost every step. All right, Gunnar, I think a lot of action in the last 30 minutes or so. We got some great insights as well. I think it's time for us to take a break, but we will be back in about 8 minutes. There is a new event that's going to happen in the game day. And of course, we're going to talk to some more participants who are actually playing this final of the AWS GameDay World Championship. Talk to you soon. And yeah, see you on the other side.
Hey folks, and welcome back. I think we need to jump straight into the scoreboard to have a look at what's happening there.
Yeah.
Because we see constant shifts on the scoreboard. And
while you were saying that, something just moved on.
Yeah.
The scoreboard, yeah.
We need to be really quick to be able to, it changed again, to be able to say what the scoreboard looks like. But right now we have Spacepug Solutions in top, followed by Metacorn, Happy Game Days, now AC3 Unicorns, and, Metacorn.
Yeah, so in the game, it is Friday, and you know what that means. So Friday has started in-game. So now there's a group request factor spike in Infinidash, and this is causing most rides to be for 2 passengers. So again, play accordingly, think accordingly, build accordingly. Again, Friday has started in-game, which means it's time for a factor spike in group requests. So most rides will be for 2 passengers. So you will have to build according to that.
And that means that you need to adapt to this change in requests.
Yeah, and as you can see, a whole bunch of teams have, I think they have anticipated that really well. They looked at the documentation, and the trend is going up, up, up.
And I think that's a very interesting thing that you mentioned there. We can now see that some teams that were a lot further down in the scoreboard are now climbing rapidly with this new change to the game.
Gunnar, do you think it's good to think long-term when it comes to this game, when you know the events that are happening, really build for a strong foundation and think long-term, or do you want to get the approach of, like accumulating and trying to be at the top at every point of time?
It started out as a leading question, but then you open it up again. I like that approach because we've seen throughout the qualifying events that there are different approaches to any game day. We usually see some teams quite early on going to the top of the scoreboard and gaining points constantly throughout the game, while other teams take a different approach. So instead of trying to get those early points, they are hoping to be able to get a lot of points quickly further down the line in that game day. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now. We have a couple of interesting questions. So Samba Senpai says, man, what the hell am I watching? Good question, Samba. I wish I knew. They just asked us to wear these suits and they put us in the studio and we have no idea what we're doing. That might be the best question of the day. And we're going to tell you what it is. This is the AWS GameDay World Championship. So the AWS GameDay is a fun way to learn and use AWS in a hands-on way. And this is the finals of the World Championship. So today we're watching 45 teams compete to be able to claim that World Championship title.
Yeah, we ran 9 qualifying events, and the top 5 teams of each of those qualifying events are here in the finals. They're working super hard. We have about an hour and a half to go, and the winning team gets to be crowned world champions. They get that fantastic trophy that you see there and an all-expense paid trip to AWS reInvent in Las Vegas at the end of the year. Related question, Queen Riri88 says, when will this happen again? Well, this is going to be a yearly thing, Queen Riri. So next year, at maybe roughly around the same time, expect the next edition of the World Game Day. The Game Day World Championship. Yeah.
And well, then it's going to be the Game Day World Champions from this year. They're going to try to compete and then retain that title, while we have all of these upcomers trying to grab the title and the trophy from them. So expect an exciting year to come as well. But we are still in the 2022 competition, of course, and we are watching teams score massively at the moment. Let's bring up the scoreboard once again.
Yeah, we have AC3 Unicorns with 3,948 points. Remember, just like 10 minutes ago, every team was around like 400, 500. Teams are in the 4,000s now. We have Spacepug Solutions on second, Cutover in third, and 404 Unicorn Not Found in fourth place, and Team Revolve in fifth place.
So Arctic Fox, is it still possible to get your vote in for what the maximum score will be, the score of the winning team? We started out this game day by asking people on the Twitch chat to guess what the winning score will be. So I think we got everything from, was it 32 points up to...
42 was the lowest.
42.
All the way up to like, I think, something million.
Yes. And based on this, we can see that neither of those will probably be the winner.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's still early days in this competition. So we are about halfway through this game day, meaning that there's a long way to go before we can crown that world champion.
Yeah, and for this segment, we thought we'll bring on another team that's playing. They haven't been on a stream before. I'm just going to check if they're ready. Revolve, if you're ready, can you wave to us? Can you wave? I don't see them waving. They're hard at work. You can't blame folks for not waving. I think they're on, right? Let me try bringing them on. Hello, Revolve. Can you hear us? Perhaps not. Revolve, can you hear us? I think you're on mute. You're still on mute.
Hi, guys.
Oh, there it is.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Well, we are doing great. The bigger question is, how are you doing?
I'm fine. We took a risky choice at the beginning of the party, but it seems that now we are in the top 5, I think. So we will see if it will pay at the end of the party. We are team Revolve.
Oh, that's interesting. And I think this goes back to what we just talked about, that teams are choosing different approaches. Hello, team.
Hello.
And you said that you took the approach where you took a chance at the beginning to hopefully be able to score further on. Is that right?
Yes, and we took also the choice to upgrade all our capacity to flying group unicorns. So now we haven't any unicorn busy. So for now we are we have the capacity to handle all the requests. So yes.
That's awesome. Yeah. Can you tell us what you do? Where are you based, and introduce yourself perhaps? Sorry, we should have asked that in the beginning.
Okay, so we are Devoteam Revolve, so consultancy company specialized on AWS. So we are partner of AWS France, and we have clients from all over France, and we deliver some projects on AWS. And we are based in France, in Paris.
That's great. Great to have you with us today.
Thank you.
So are there any tips of doing well to the other teams that are playing or are interested in future game days? What worked for you in the qualifiers and is clearly working for you now as well?
So what we learned from the previous game days was that communication is very important. Not only technical skills, and also we try to not split our team. We are 4 in the team, so we avoid to split our team in 2 binomes because we observe that it brings a lack of communication. So what we decided is to have one member that communicate with all the team members and ask if there are some blockers, so that we don't lost time on the task where we are not fast enough.
Nice. I think that's a really smart strategy, Gunnar. For other teams who either want to play or are going to play next year's game day, I think this is fundamentally good strategy where it's not only about the tech, but it's also about communication and how the team actually works together. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're gonna let you join your teammates and continue working on the Infinidash company. Hi, everyone, once again.
Hi.
They look so happy.
Yeah.
I think they're enjoying it.
Yes. Thank you.
Good luck, team, and yeah, all the best.
All right. So I think we need to bring up the scoreboard once again.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other changes too. Ooh.
So Team Revolve that we just had on, they are in 5th position. And looking at the trend, we can see that teams are scoring quite high at the moment. But this has also meant that the teams we saw high up in the scoreboard early on, well, they are not there anymore. So can we maybe scroll the scoreboard a bit?
And I think it's the nature of this particular game day, Gunnar, where you can choose one of 2 or 3 ways of playing, and the score will jump accordingly, right? So you have to anticipate some of these events that take place and sort of build accordingly. And it's very much like, I think, the real world. Today is part of Oktoberfest in Munich, so I'm sure all tech companies and ride-hailing companies have obviously scaled up in accordance. So it mirrors the real world and real world problems that you will face when actually building in production.
And then we seem to have the middle ground. A team like Styrk, Perskirskirk, they've been somewhere in the middle throughout the game day. And let's see if that is like a third strategy that's going to pay off towards the real end of the game day.
Yeah.
And we know that we have some teams that were high up in the beginning, like Indians at 75. They've now dropped a bit, but it's still early. There is plenty of time left to be able to adapt to these new days in the game day, the new strategies that are needed to be able to continue scoring high. And we also have some teams that are still scoring in the negatives. But that's yet another way of trying to perhaps build momentum for what is yet to come.
Hey, you always want to think long term, am I right? So yeah, things can change and things can be topsy-turvy soon, so keep watching. On that note, Gunnar, I think it's time for another quiz question.
On which note?
On that note.
That note? Yeah, okay. Time for a quiz.
And remember, folks, we're running quiz questions. If you get these answers correct, you get a prize, and Arctic Fox in chat will get in touch with you, and in how you can actually get your prize. So, Gunnar, are you ready to read out this question?
I am ready, Sohan.
Yeah, here we go.
So in 2021, AWS released how many new significant services and features?
That's it. It's as simple. I'm going to give you a clue. It's more than 1,000. So start guessing. It's more than 1,000.
I think that's
many.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we still need a number. Ask Garmin.
And I think that's a relative answer. So it depends. Some might think that it's still too few.
Yeah.
So I think we need a number. And we are getting some numbers. 1,200 from the same person, Asgarmi. 1024.
Unsurprisingly, someone named HME1337 has said 1337. Close. I mean, but I think you can still go a little higher. Someone has said 4096, which I think is a perfect square, perhaps, yeah. Someone said 1026. We seem to have the right answer, which is Selvikin, who has said 3084. That's 3084 new features and services released in 2021. Good job, Selvikin. That's a great answer. Again, we'd love to know how you arrived at that answer, whether it was good research or you just happened to know this. Either way,
congratulations.
Congratulations, and Arctic Fox will get in touch with you for a prize.
And thank you very much to El Cactus 974.
Yeah.
Awesome costume, by the way. Costume.
This is my regular work dress.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what costume you're talking about. We'll wear this to work all the time.
Yes. All right. So back to the scoreboard, so on once again.
Yep.
Let's remove the question, I think. There we go. So SpacePug Solutions back on top now with over 11,000 points at this point in the game. AC3 Unicorns trailing with 10,000 points, and 404 Unicorn not found shortly thereafter. Cutover Revolve still in 4th and 5th position. So we see that we have the top 5 teams at the moment within about 2,000 points. And looking at the trends, well, that's nothing, basically.
Yep. Things are going to change. We have about an hour and 15 minutes for the game day to end. So do expect a lot of change. Remember, there is another event. There are actually 2 more events coming up, which will see the scales tilt again. But until then, it's time for another break, and we will be back soon with another interview of a team that's taking part. Stay tuned, and we will be back in about 10 minutes.
Keep playing. Hey everyone, we're back again from the AWS GameDay World Championship. I'm Gunnar.
And I'm Sohan.
And well, I think we need to jump into the scoreboard straight away, as we usually do, because things happen. So let's have a look. Right now, we can see that Spacebug Solutions are still in the lead. We've seen them there for the last maybe 10-15 minutes, but they have been jumping back and forth between Spacebug and AC3 Unicorns. And it's just 150-200 points in between those teams. They are closely followed by 404 Unicorn Not Found, and they are followed by Send Us to Reinvent, and then we have D55. D55 was a team we saw early on.
Yeah, we did. Also, a little birdie tells me that Spacebug Solutions and AC3 Unicorns are from a part of the world where it's fairly late at night now. So again, thanks so much. Maybe it's all the energy drinks that's keeping them up. I don't know, but still, great showing so far.
It might even be early for them now, not even late. Yeah. So, yeah, super exciting. We have about 1 hour, 55 minutes to go of game play time. So we are approaching that final leg of the competition where we will then crown the world champion, the best of the best of the best.
In the game, it's Saturday right now, which means the Chaos Teapot Day celebration has begun, which is why you're probably seeing some new trends in the scores. So essentially, you dispatch teapot factor spike, and a retrying mechanism needs to be implemented within Infinidash. Right? So you're probably seeing some things change in your dashboard. So kudos to the teams that saw that coming and have implemented solutions to factor for that.
All right. So with that, I think it's time to bring on some new guests onto the show. And today, right now, we have Unicorn Nerds with us.
Hey.
Hey, team.
Hey. Good to see you.
Good to see you all. So tell everyone who you are.
Well, we are a team working out of Germany, and we know each other for a long time. We work for the same organization. I kind of brought us into this. I'm an AWS community builder, and we are having a lot of fun.
Nice. Can you tell us a bit about the Community Builders program and how you got in, what the program's about, and what its benefits are?
Yeah, the Community Builders is a program run by AWS where everyone can apply. The idea is to give AWS interested people and folks that are interested to build up community work and insights into details behind AWS and give you possibilities to influence a little bit on what's coming next. So I'm participating in a few beta versions as well. And that's kind of one of the coolest things that I've started this year for myself.
And everyone taking part or being on social media or wherever have probably seen AWS community builders being super active on there. We see blog posts, we see streams, we see videos all the time from different AWS community builder members. So that's super awesome. As AWS fans, we all are. So tell us a bit about what you've been doing throughout this game day. We haven't seen you that much on the scoreboard yet.
Well, not yet, but we're at 5th place, so should give us a little bit more visibility. It took a bit of time to get all the things going, but all the tasks are showing green, and I don't know, there's not much we can do at this point to optimize for that because our fleet isn't being utilized. So.
Some final tweaks maybe to be able to win that championship title.
Well, I think other teams had a bit of a head start maybe in terms of getting all the things going as they should. So we're not quite sure if it's gonna be enough to close that gap. But I mean, we were shooting for a top 10 placement, and so far that's looking quite okay.
Things seems to happen right now that perhaps might help your team as well.
Or maybe not. Let's see what's going on there.
Either way, as Arctic Fox says, happy hour seems to have started, so I think you're having fun.
we hope so.
That's the main thing. Yes, we do.
Yeah, so it's a cool event. Thanks for running this, right, and for making this possible. And I hope that we're gonna have another go next year and optimize a few of the things that we already saw. However, I learned something today already, so at least for me it was valuable invested time already, and I think that's also important to know.
That's great to hear, and we are super happy to have you with us as well.
Yeah, and thanks again. Good luck. There's still 50 minutes to go, so you can go from that 5th place all the way to 1st place, I think. Enough time.
We're on the way, right?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. All right, good luck, Unicorn Nerds, and yeah, see you soon.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. It's exciting at the moment, and I think this might be the case for many teams right now. They've done most, if not all, of the tasks in this game day, and now it's a matter of small tweaks, maybe adjusting to these changes that happen when we get to new days throughout the event.
Yep. We are currently in Saturday in the game, and there's one more event coming up. So again, that means a little more tweaking, a little more optimization, a little more adjusing for that final sprint.
Yeah, and Unicorn Nerds that we just had on, they are in 5th position right now. So they were able to climb up on that visible part of the scoreboard just as they were on. We're used to the opposite.
Yeah.
People join our stream and then they drop in the scoreboard. Good to see something along these lines instead. All right, so this is the AWS GameDay World Championship. This is the final of the 2022 AWS GameDay World Championship. And we have 45 teams competing today, trying to become the world champion. And these are 45 teams that have made their way to the finals by competing in qualifying events. 9 different qualifiers has happened in the last month. And now they are here. Now they are competing against the best teams, trying to become world champions.
Yeah, and there's a lot at stake. Of course, there is eternal glory and a chance to call yourself a world champion. Not everyone really gets that. But also, there's this beautiful trophy that you see here. This is a rolling trophy. So every year, when a team wins, they will get this trophy and they will get their names etched on that trophy. So you really get to be a part of history. And of course, how could I forget? All expense paid. Tickets to AWS reInvent in Las Vegas later this year for the winning team.
And I don't want to put you on the spot, Sohan, but what is reInvent?
Okay.
I don't think we've mentioned what reInvent is.
Yeah, well, I think we assumed that everyone sort of knows, but I'll take a stab at what reInvent is. So reInvent is Amazon and AWS's yearly conference that happens typically in Las Vegas the week after Thanksgiving, right? So somewhere around the end of November, December. It's one of the largest technology events in the world. I've been there many times. It's a lot of fun. All the new releases from AWS will be premiered at reInvent. There's a lot of great sessions. There's networking, there are concerts, parties. Yeah, pretty much everything you'd expect from a really good tech conference.
We are looking forward to reInvent and looking forward to greeting the winning team at reInvent as well.
Yeah, and there's going to be a huge game day in person at AWS reInvent 2022 as well. So if you're attending reInvent, or even if you're like watching bits of it online, make sure to stream in and or attend or play the game day that will happen at reInvent as well.
Is it quiz time, Sohan?
I think it's quiz time. I missed some quiz. We've had a bunch of people win prizes already. How this works is simple. We ask you a quiz question. The first to give the correct answer wins a prize. It's as simple. Again, feel free to look up the answer online or reach deep into those recesses of your brain for the right answer and type it out. Again, speed matters like in business. So Gunnar, are you ready?
Yes, but it's all about fun. We've said that throughout the game. It's all about having fun.
Okay. So Gunnar, are you ready to read this one?
I am.
All right. So for this, we need a date which has a date, a month, and a year, right? So we need a date, a month, and a year. This is the question.
On what date was Amazon S3 officially launched? On what date was Amazon S3 officially launched?
Yeah, I think for fans of S3, you might have read the 15-year retrospective some time ago, which was actually released during the same date. But for this, we need the month, the day, and the year. It's a fun little day, and it's a very nerdy day as well, if that's a clue. So yeah, let us know which day that was. We have one guess from Arvind V. Cyber, but that's it. We'll wait for a few more guesses to see how many of y'all get that right.
On what date was Amazon S3 officially launched?
Yeah. So I think my favorite piece of AWS trivia, Gunnar, and I asked this at like a bunch of meetups, is which was the first AWS service that was launched? Right? And most people tell me that it was S3, which is kind of true because that was the first one that was generally available. But technically, the first one that was launched was Amazon SQS, or Simple Queue Service.
It's one of the best questions to ask because, as you said, people assume that it is S3, and it's sometimes referred to as the first service. It is that how it was made available, and that I think makes it complicated for people.
It's complicated. Isn't
it is.
Right answer. We have some guesses. So Selvikin, who won a prize previously, has said 29th May 2012. Not quite. DNC has said 14th March 1999. Homeless. Yes, Homeless 207 has said 2005. But we have got one correct answer. Gunnar.
We have, and it was quick. Arvind V. Cyber said March 14th, 2006.
Yep, that is
Pi Day.
The right answer. That is Pi Day. So, Selvikin, this happened to me as well when I was checking the answer. So, if you use your favorite search engine and you type S3 launch date, it defaults to the Galaxy S3 launch date. So, you have to probably write AWS S3 launch date, or maybe just look at the second result. Happens to all of us, happens to the best of us, Selvikin, not a problem. The answer indeed is Pi Day in 2006. Good answer, Arvind V. Cyber. So Arctic Fox will get in touch with you for your prize.
Congratulations, and well done. Now, we've been away from the scoreboard for far too long, so let's add it.
Ooh.
And, well, there are changes happening. It is so tight between the top teams, so they are constantly switching places. AC3 Unicorns, up and about early in the morning in Australia. Now with 33,000 points in the top position. D55 has climbed to the second position and just now replaced by Space Pug Solutions. Follow them by 404 Unicorn Not Found. And our most recent guests on the stream, Unicorn Nerds, in 5th position. So the top 5 teams are all within 3,000 points. And when we look at the trend is how the teams are scoring at the moment. We can see that 3,000 points is nothing, really.
It's nothing. And remember, we have one more event in the game still remaining, which means further optimizations and more changes in the scoreboard.
And you might be wondering, how much time is there left on the game? Well, there are 42 minutes. 42 minutes
the
left.
Answer to life, the universe, and everything. 42 minutes is what's remaining.
So this is going to be a super exciting one.
Okay.
Arctic Fox wants us to scroll down the scoreboard. We can, of course, do that. It is quite complicated for us for some reason, but I think we'll be able to manage.
There we go.
So we had Unicorn Nerds in 5th position. Then we have Team Send Us to Reinvent. A clear indication what they want.
I like the focus.
They are in 5th. Team Atlas, I don't think we've mentioned them before in this finals. They are now in 7th position. Lambda People, one of our guests on the stream tonight, now there as well. Developers.io, Youngblood, Delete, Win32, Hephaestus, Revolve. Many familiar names by now. And still, we are just within about 10,000 points all the way down here. So it's still a big chance for these teams to be able to catch up. Any surprises, Sohan?
No, I think as Arctic Fox says, Send Us to Reinvent is going to break 30K, which means they're inching closer and closer to the lead. With 40 minutes to go, I think anything can happen. Selvikin has a nice question, which I think we can answer. I'm curious, if we have any of the teams in the chat, what are your teams comprised of? SREs, DevOps, architects? Selvikin, we've had a few people on the chat in this final, but also in the other qualifiers. Some of the teams went on to win. I think having a healthy balance really helps, because these game days sort of test your overall knowledge. So it's not just programming, it's not just DevOps. There are so many different tasks and things that you have to do. Again, very similar to a real world scenario.
I think that is true. And when we've spoken to these teams, I think that's the picture they're painting for us. But I'm also curious, so if you have any insights, hoping you're watching the stream competing right now, please let us know in the chat what your team consists of, the type of roles. What is the secret sauce? I'm just staring at the scoreboard right now, because teams are going from negative trends to positive trends back and forth, and they are just switching positions with each other.
Yeah. Okay, folks, I think it's time for a break. We will be back in about 10 minutes. We have a very special interview. We are actually going to talk to folks from the recruitment team at AWS who will tell us a bit about recruitment at Amazon. So if you're interested in a job at AWS, then stay tuned, because you're going to hear straight from the recruitment team. I think that's pretty exciting. But until then, time for a break.
See you all soon. Welcome back, everyone. And this is the AWS GameDay World Championship. We are now in the final 30 minutes of the game. So this is the home stretch, I believe we call it.
Yeah, yep. Final 30 minutes, all to play for. Things are getting super tight in the top. I'm nervous as hell, Gunnar. I'm feeling the nerves right now. I can only imagine what the teams are going through right at this moment.
Yeah, and as I believe Johannes told us, Unicorn Nerds, they told us that they are done with most of their, or all of their tasks, so they are now just making small tweaks. And I think that's the case for most teams right now. So it is just about those final small touches to take them home. And when it's this close, yeah, it's still anyone's game. So let's bring up the scoreboard to take a look at what it's like right now. Well, we can see that Unicorn Nerds is actually in first position at the moment, followed by D55, Lambda People, and then AC3 Unicorns. And in the fifth position at the moment, 404 Unicorn Not Found. But they are all within 2,000 points of each other.
Yeah, and super close. As Uptick Fox is saying in the chat, there is prizes for viewers as well. If you can guess the winning team score, you get a special prize, right? And closest to that score also wins a prize. So let's put those comments in the chat. I think with about 25 minutes to go, I think we can get a sort of range of what the scores might just be like. It's not going to be in the millions, but you get the sense of what it will be.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the scoreboard, the teams trading positions with each other at the moment. This is super tight competition.
All right, so Gunnar, who do we have on next? I promised a very special interview.
Yes, we have two guests on, actually. So we're going to bring them on right now. So let me just remove the scoreboard. And then we will bring on Anna and Dave.
Hello.
Hi, both of you.
Hi. Happy to be here. I love the outfits. I really need one of those. I have my Unicorn Rentals shirt on. I used to be an employee previously, but I still need that awesome outfit.
Well, you know how we work at Unicorn Rentals. We only keep the best of the best on. So you moved on to a position in AWS, I believe.
Exactly. I feel very lucky. You know, my contract ended, but was able to stay on in Unicorn Rentals with their sister company. So happy to be here today.
Great to have you both. So let's do the quick round of introductions. Anna, you go first.
Absolutely. So hi, everyone. My name is Anna Salas. I am a senior technical recruiter with AWS. I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina. So thankfully not in Florida today. I don't know if you guys have seen, they're having a crazy hurricane down there. It's a little cloudy here, but we're staying safe. And I've been with AWS about 3.5 years, supporting primarily solution architect roles. I'm happy to chat with you guys today and give you some interview tips and tricks.
And I'm David Potes. I am a manager of solution architects, and I have specialists on my team covering analytics, machine learning, and what we call production apps. So Amazon Connect and end user computing. Have been at Amazon for 7.6 years now. Do the math. It's been a while. All of that with the partner SA function. So super excited to talk about that. And I am a former Unicorn Rentals employee as well. I decided I wanted to get paid, so I moved over to AWS and ended my charity work.
And so both of you are part of what's called the AWS Partner Organization. Can you tell us what that is, Anna?
Absolutely. So, Gunnar, we work with all types of partners. This could be everything from small startups to mid-sized ISVs, companies such as like a Palo Alto, an Okta, a Cisco, a VMware, and then large global system integrators. We also work with, I think it's 90% of the Fortune 500, and we're working with companies all over the world. So I want to emphasize this is not confined to the United States. We are looking for builders across the world. And we're providing the technical business and marketing support for our partners to be successful in serving their customers. So we're creating essentially joint solutions between AWS and our partners.
That's pretty awesome, and it's great that it's a worldwide role. This is the World Game Day Championships, and we have people from so many different countries here. David, you've been in Amazon, you said 7.6 years. That is super precise. I love it. Can you tell us in this partner SA org, like what are the sort of roles you're looking for and what are the sort of roles that are available?
Yeah, and I'll answer two questions at once that you didn't ask. So we have both business and technical roles. We have specialist roles. We have roles for people that are more general in their skills. And the type of background that we really look for runs the gamut. So as Anna said, we have people all over the world, not necessarily in every country, but definitely all over the world. And we look for people with a amazing diversity of backgrounds, whether you're early in your career, just getting started, it's your first or second tech job, or you're somebody that's been doing this for we'll just say a long time, as I have, and whether that's, a principal PSA or, an associate PSA, like we have roles for folks. And whether you've come up in an on-premises world and you're ready to go to cloud, or you've been a cloud expert since 2008, there's room for you here. And we're definitely looking for a special look for people that come from diverse backgrounds. We're definitely stronger together as a team, with more viewpoints, more diversity of experience. And I would definitely encourage people to take a look at what we have open. I know that Anna's going to share a link or point you to a direction, but we definitely need you, and especially the audience of World Championship Game Day. These are the best of the best. So would love to hear from you all.
That's great.
100%.
And yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, Anna.
Oh, I was just going to say 100%. You guys are VIPs. So to that point, I think we dropped in the chat our page where you can go ahead and go submit your resume or your LinkedIn profile, whichever you prefer. And we will absolutely review all folks that are registering there. Again, you guys are best of the best. We want you to work for AWS. We're looking for builders, folks that want to be hands-on and that enjoy the tech. And that live and breathe it, just what you guys are doing today. So thank you for being here, and we want you. We're going to be reviewing your profiles.
That's great. So we posted a link in the chat, so do check that out. And Anna, can you maybe tell people a bit about the interviewing process at AWS?
Absolutely. I know I have a lot of folks ask me, they're like, I've heard things, what's this all about? So the cool thing about AWS is that your recruiter is your coach. So they're going to be your interview coach. We don't just say, good luck, here's your interview date and time, may the force be with you. We actually help walk you through, hey, this is what you're going to expect. This is how you can prepare. That is solely my job. I want you to succeed. So typically, Gunnar, the interview process starts, of course, with an application, right? So you apply for the role. Again, we're going to be reviewing all resumes and LinkedIn profiles of folks that apply through the link we have listed here. We will typically get you set up for a phone interview with the recruiter. So this is a time to ask questions about the role, the team, understand that we're aligned, make sure it seems like a good fit. And then we'll get you moved into a phone interview. So you'll typically do a 60-minute phone interview. That's going to be a mix of technical and behavioral-based interview questions. Technical, looking at your technical background, experience, and skills as it's relevant for the role. Behavioral is going to be based on our leadership principles, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Extremely important. And behavioral-based interviewing, for those of you that aren't familiar, it's those type questions that are going to start with, tell me about a time or give me an example of. So we're looking for specific examples from your past or current work experience, because we think that past behavior can predict future outcomes. So that's the first kind of official step. And then from there, if that goes well, we move you to a final round interview. You would interview with 5 folks from the team or closely aligned, right? One-on-one with each person for about an hour. And we do conduct, again, another awesome experience, a preparation call prior, where it's you and the recruiter. We go over, hey, here's the game plan. Here's how you prepare. Here's what we recommend. Now, I'm curious to hear from you guys, our unicorns here, from going through the interview process yourself. It might have been a while. Do you have any tips or tricks that you can share with folks?
Well, I can go first, maybe. I think an important part of it is that it's a two-way interview. I think that's really key, that not only that AWS are interviewing someone for a position, you as an interviewee, you actually get to learn a lot about AWS and the culture by going through the entire process. So you learn a lot about AWS and actually see if it's a good fit for you. And I think that was an important part for me when I went through the entire process.
100% agree. We want it to be good for everyone. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, the last round interview, it's about 5 hours, right? So it's a long interview. And I have folks balk at me. They're like, are you kidding? But I tell them, you know, it's both ways. You're seeing the culture, you're seeing the people. So I will say, once you go out of that, hopefully you can say with definity, like, yes, this is the type team I want to be on. And this is the type people I want to work with.
Yeah, absolutely, Anna and Dave. And I think I was very daunted by that 5-hour interview, but realizing that it is a conversation really helped in my interview. On that point, though, I think people here know that AWS, Amazon, we interview many candidates, right? And we pick what we think is the best person for the role. How does one really stand out, Dave? You know, when they're appearing in that interview, you have like 5 to 6 hours to make an impression. What are some things that someone can do to really stand out?
Yeah, I can share some pro tips. As somebody that's direct hired 52 people now at AWS, yeah, I can tell you what stands out. And one of the things that I ask people right at the beginning is I'm going to ask you to hold 2 competing ideas in your head, and I want you to provide examples with concise detail. So enough to be able to tell a story, because people love stories, and you know, especially on the tech side. People love details, right? So give me all the details, but keep it compact at the same time. And you know, I want to hear about exciting things that you did. Like, you know, it's very common for people to come in initially, be very modest, and I give you license to brag. Like, tell me about what you did. Tell me about how you changed the world, or changed the business, or changed your function. And you know, thinking about, you know, how do we frame these around the leadership principles? I get a lot of questions. The leadership principles are the real deal at Amazon, and you know, the advantage is I really look at it as kind of an open source culture. You know, you can look at it from the outside and inspect it. That's exactly what it looks like on the inside. From, you know, kind of standing out individually, like really it's your examples. We're looking for you to operate at your best, and our interviewing process is designed to make sure that you can show yourself at your best. Like, I don't want people that are stressed out or dehydrated or, you know, need a bio break in the middle. So I definitely want to see you at your best. Bring your examples, prepare them. You know, I can tell when somebody's winging it versus somebody that's really thought through the things that they've done. And this is especially important for people that have had longer careers, right? Easy to forget cool things that you did 2, 3, 5 years ago, but do a little bit of preparation and dig that up. And you know, the other thing that I tell people is that we got a lot of big personalities here, present company included. So don't feel like you have to stifle yourself. Like, we really do want people that think different, that approach problems in a different way. And you know, it's kind of a cliche, but you know, folks that'll have fun at work, right? You're going to spend a third of your time here, and you know, it's really important that you actually enjoy the work. Like, I'm even after 7+ years, super passionate about this stuff, and if you're passionate too, we'll see that, and it definitely helps.
All right. So I think we could keep talking all day about this. It's a super interesting topic, and I know that we are hiring all across the world. So we want to highlight this through this segment. So Anna, any final words before we jump into the home stretch of the game?
Yes. I think, you know, look into what we have available. We have so many opportunities. You know, it's not only, of course, solution architects is big. We have DevOps, we have technical program managers, we have partner development managers. We have so much there. We have a peculiar culture. I think you guys were absolutely speaking to this. You know, you come as yourself. You have fun. You make history. I think that's part of our little spiel there. I'm missing a couple words, but work hard, have fun, make history. I think it's really true. And so if you want to chat, let me know. I'm more than happy to have authentic conversations, and we can also connect you with other folks within teams that you might be interested in. thank you so much for considering us.
And
Yeah,
go
thanks, Anna. Thanks, David.
unicorns. Get your guesses in. It's almost time.
All right. Thank you both very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back in less than a couple of minutes for the final stretch. Don't go anywhere. Things are about to get heated up.
That was the quickest of break, but we wanted to get back to take this game into the finish.
We are ending in about 7 minutes, I think. In 7 minutes, just before 2030 is when we end. So it is the last few minutes. A few people in the comments have said that yes, the chaos event suggests there are more events coming up to the 4-hour mark. We are playing a shortened version of the game, so the game will end in about 7 minutes. That's what we're confirming. You will hear it first when the game ends, and we are seeing so much change in the scoreboard right now with a few minutes left to go.
So let's just recap what that means. We started the game at 28 minutes past the hour, meaning that it will end at 28 minutes past the hour. So exactly at 28, the game will stop. We will still continue to see a few more points on the scoreboard. So teams will continue to gain a few points after the game actually stops. And that is normal. That's how these games usually work because, well, the last few unicorns need to get back to that stable and you'll get your points. So then we will just monitor the scoreboard and see what happens in those last few moments of the game. And then when the scoreboard has stabilized, we will have a winner. We will have the world champion team.
So Gunnar, let's use this to maybe scroll down a little bit and see how, if there is a possibility of the other teams catching up. I see that there's not too much difference in the top 5.
No, it is tight. So let's see then if we can show it. We have D55 at the top right now. Lambda People, Unicorn Nerds, 404 Unicorn Not Found. They are all within a few hundred points of each other. Then we have a jump of about 5,000 points to Hephaistos and AC3 Unicorns. And then another jump of about 3,000 points to Cutover, followed by Silence of the Lambdas, Delete, Win32, and so on and so on. So I'm not going to bet on it, but looking at time left, I would say that we probably have the winning team among these ones we see on screen right now. D55 all the way down to AC3 unicorns. I'm not a betting man, so I'm not going to bet on it.
But you can be betting people. So yeah, still, if you can put the final, what you think the winning score will be, and you get it correct, you can win a prize. So go ahead, take a shot. There's nothing to lose. Yeah, let's do it.
So it makes it a bit easier to cast that vote now compared to 3 hours ago when some did. So it is quite a lot easier to find that final score now.
DNC says 81,920. I love the specificity of the score. Clearly, there's some algorithm working there to find the score, and you plot it over time and all of that. Maybe you'll be right. Let's see. OGMHOO says 66,200. Could be. You never know. Could be. It is indeed a very close one. Someone said 78,000. Could be a little tricky maybe to get that much, but never know.
We are now in the last 2 minutes of the game, less than 2 minutes to go of the game, and we still have D55 on top, followed by Unicorn Nerds. And just when I say it, as always, they switch around. Back and forth. D55 Unicorn Nerds battling it out for that first position. But they are trailed by Lambda people who are trying to catch up. They have gotten closer and closer. So they are less than 1,000 points behind D55 at the moment.
And props to HME1337, who's been saying 69K from the very beginning. Nice guess there, HME1337. It might actually come true.
So 1 minute to go of the game. 1 minute until we stop the game. Then we'll count those last few games. Our being counting team is hard at work trying to get those last few points in for those final unicorn rides. And then we will be able to crown the world champion. AWS GameDay World Championships
2022. Whew, what a ride it's been, huh?
And wow, this is so exciting. D55 still on top, followed by Unicorn Nerds and Lambda people. D55 has an awesome trend at the moment. So will Unicorn Nerds be able to catch up? 20 seconds to go of the game. Our stable hands are ready to stop the game. We now have 10.
Woo.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And the game has ended. Let's now let those few points get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, the game's not officially ended yet because we have to click the end button and then the last few points are accumulated. So, Gunnar, how is it looking?
Well, I think it's looking good. It's interesting, but we are still waiting for that official stop of the game. We're not seeing any changes on the scoreboard, though, so far. But I have to remind everyone, in the last qualifier, we saw a big jump right at this moment. One team moved up on the top 5 to be able to move into the finals. Will we see something similar now?
Yeah, so I've got official word that the game is officially stopped right now. So the scores will stop fast also. It depends on how the teams have played, but we will get official confirmation very soon about the winners of the event.
And now I'm guessing that we have a few very nervous teams out there. We are very excited to check out the scoreboard to see who will be the world champion of the AWS GameDay World Championships. Will it be Team D55? Or will it be Unicorn Nerds? Or will it be Lambda people?
Yeah, I think we have to give a shout out to HME1337, who from the start of the stream has been saying the winning score will be 69K. Really nice work there, HME1337. And also thanks for watching. I don't know if you're playing the game, but thanks for staying with us and watching.
I'm not seeing any movement on the scoreboard. So do you think we can call it, Son?
Yeah, I think we can call it. We have confirmation from our game day operators as well that the game is officially stopped and there's no changing anymore. So it's time, I think, for the drum roll. We have a winner.
We have a winner of the AWS GameDay World Championship 2022. And the winning team, the world champions, are Team
D55. Woo!
Wow.
Done. Yeah. We'll try and see if we can bring them along onto the stream. I'm sure they're celebrating and they'd be super happy right now. But also commiserations and congratulations to Team Unicorn Nerd, Lambda People, 404 Unicorn Not Found, AC3 Unicorns, Hephaestus, super close. Hardly, I think, 6,000 points separating the top 7 or 8 teams. That's amazing.
This has been an amazing game day. It's been exciting from start to finish, and we are, well, I'm still shaking. I can just bet that the teams are as well.
Oh, so we have John from Team D55. I'm going to bring him on the stream. John, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great work. How does it feel? I think that's the question we should ask.
Relief, I think. It was very nerve-wracking towards the end. I think it was only in the last couple of minutes before we ended up going first, and then we were trading with second. Is Martin as well. Yeah, relief, excitement, I think, as well.
Welcome, Martin. Congratulations to you as well.
Thank you very much.
So are there more teammates, or was it the two of you?
Yeah, there was 2 of us, but yeah, a bit shy.
Bit camera shy.
That's good.
Yeah. So what was the secret sauce? I mean, you have to tell us what did you all do well and to be crowned the first ever world champion of AWS GameDay?
Nerves, I think.
Yeah. The more nervous you are, the
yeah. Adding cash into a lambda in the last challenge to get to this point. But yeah, for this one, I think it's really interesting. Actually, I really enjoyed that. It was very a lot of strategy in that.
Was that a reference to the qualifier?
Yes.
Yeah. We were the first qualifier where we had caching. Yeah, I think us getting the tasks done early meant it looked like when a lot of teams were losing points, we were losing less points. We can only assume that was due to us doing the tasks in a certain way.
It's hard to at the end. Then we're just watching it go up and down. It's very difficult to tell.
Someone is suggesting that you're using AI. That's how you won.
It's completely allowed.
Well, I mean, AI was used for the fraud detection, so technically.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I have to ask you, and this is a bit of a selfish question perhaps, but how was the experience of playing game day and doing the qualifiers and the finals? And this question is open to the other people who played the game days as well. Please put it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what went well and how you enjoyed it.
I think I can speak for both of us that we'd not done a lot of these particular things, like the fraud detector from this challenge. And I think it was fun to learn more stuff of AWS that we don't currently do because we're mainly serverless. But yeah, just getting to try new things is always fun, I think, as developers.
Yeah, you learn it in certification, but until you actually do it, it's just words. So it's been really interesting. Definitely learned a lot.
Oh, it's great to hear. And I think it's a common sentiment that we hear from people that they are faced with the unknown, maybe services that they have heard about or read about, or as you said, seen in certifications, but haven't really used in action before. So that's super cool. So have you been at Re:ment before?
No, really want to go, but it's a bit too expensive.
Well, we have news for you then. But it's going to be cheaper this time. Do you think you will be able to go? I think is the next question.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we had we've wanted to go because we've been doing a lot more AWS events, our local ones and stuff. So definitely going to. There'll be at least a few of us going anyway. I can't speak for all 4.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, if you want help with like a note to the manager, Kunar and myself are happy to write one, and sign it with a bunch of unicorns.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, what I was asking before is why don't we all get unicorn onesies instead of trophies?
Because we get to keep the unicorn onesies. It's super exclusive.
Okay. And we'll never know what happens in Vegas. So, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So we'll see.
Yeah,
that's true.
We should bring down the trophy. I think
we should bring down the trophy.
Should I take a walk?
Yes, it's the last time to take a walk. This is the unofficial trophy ceremony. We will have one at Reinvent as well. Yeah, and like people are saying, see you in Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. We don't recommend drinking champagne out of this, but it is a beautiful trophy.
It's fairly sizable. Do we get 4 of them?
So this is a rolling trophy that teams will get every year, and your name will be etched on this permanently.
Forever.
Forever, right? And yeah, this is the first ever, so congratulations. It must mean something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, chuffed. Yeah, I think we
so
came into this not expecting to, to get in the top 5. So it's pretty
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah,
we have a question from the audience, which is, where are you from, D55?
So D55 is based in Manchester, in England, but we actually mostly work remotely, and we go into the office occasionally.
Nice. And there was a question about the weight of the trophy. It is heavy. It is. This is a real trophy.
Yeah.
I don't want to lift it because I think that's your honor to do in Vegas. But yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah.
We have another question from MHMD1987, which is, what is the most difficult thing you faced in today's game day?
I guess there's a few. So the IoT core stuff was interesting because we'd never done that before. So we had to quickly figure out how to do IoT into Dynamo. So there was a couple of fingers crossed for that one. We had a couple of issues trying to get the CloudFormation template ran in and the ports and getting all the kind of security groups working. I think that, although the most difficult is probably just picking the right unicorns near the end. We were hovering over the buttons about whether to upgrade or not upgrade.
And drop customer support. We weren't sure whether we needed to lower it. There was a lot of discussion on, as Martin says, on which unicorns to have, and we decided to not go with all groups, which seemed to pay off in the end by having a couple of singles and the maximum 9 spot. So the gamble that we took with keeping some singles seems to have paid off.
Nice. Well, all I can say is well played. Y'all were very deserving of the win, and congratulations. And I hope to see you at Riemann.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, John.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Martin. Congrats again. We'll see you
Thank
in a
you.
bit.
Bye.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Whew, what a day today was.
Yeah, what a game.
Yeah, I think these guys deserve a raise.
Yeah, definitely. And if the managers want proof, well, you can just show them this. I think that's all that's needed. This has been an awesome game day. This was the finals of the AWS GameDay World Championship. We have crowned the very first Game Day World Champion, and that is Team D55, taking a very narrow win just ahead of Unicorn Nerds that are placed second in the World Championship. That's not bad either.
It's not bad at all. The final score that D55 made was 68,488. So yeah, Arctic Fox, tell us who among our audience wins the guessing game prize. And yeah, we'll give them a prize. I think I know who it is, but I just want confirmation from you as well. And yeah, again, as everyone's saying, congrats D55, well played, thoroughly deserved. The other teams, y'all did great in the qualifiers, and today y'all will get trophies for winning the qualifiers as well. So a lot to be proud of that day. And yes, we have official winner from the audience, HME1337, who said 69K. Nice guess there. You win a prize. Arctic Fox will get in touch with you on the prize as well.
And what can we say about what happens next then? What will happen now?
So, well, first, I think D55 gets to go to reInvent, all expense paid trip. They've never been before, so I'm extra happy that they're getting their first chance thanks to this Game Day World Championship. They get to play the game day in person at reInvent, where they will receive this beautiful trophy, and all of us will clap for them, of course, maybe get a few beers with them as well. This is not a single event. We are going to do this every year. This trophy will be given out to the winning team every year. So yeah, start prepping, start sharpening those cloud skills right away.
Yeah, hoping to see all of the teams we saw in the finals today compete next year again, of course, but we want to see even more teams. So we don't have the official numbers or numbers to give right now how many people actually participated in this World Championship, but there were a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know that we've had 9 qualifiers during the last month, and now this final. We've had so many people compete, and people seem to enjoy game days, and I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, just tell us what you enjoyed about it. Put it on social media, some photos. I think it'll be great if we can get more people in the community involved. It's also a great way to meet other people in the community. So yeah, highly recommend doing this sometime.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, I think not much left to do except one last thing, which is a big thanks to everyone who supported us on this. All the supporters, the operators, the stable hands, and the support staff of Unicorn Rentals. As CTO and Chief of Staff, we wouldn't have been able to do this, right? So thank you so much for doing this. And thank you for playing as well. And one final thanks to my partner in crime, Gunnar, for putting up with me when we were doing all of this stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Sohan. And yeah, I can just +1 on everything Sohan said. Thanks everyone for being part of this awesome first AWS GameDay World Championship. We are proud of what this became and looking forward to what it will become at reInvent as well. Looking forward to seeing D55 at reInvent.
All right, so from Gunnar and myself, good evening, good night, good morning for whichever part of the world you're from. And thanks again. Stay safe. See you soon. Bye.